Attention, passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been following the NFL storylines lately, you know that the trade deadline is always a moment of high tension, of last-minute moves, of teams trying to fill gaps and make that final push towards the postseason. And this season, the buzz around the Dallas Cowboys is no different. But what's catching everyone's attention right now is a potential blockbuster trade involving a defensive lineman from Cincinnati. Yes, you heard that right. The Bengals' recent decision to move on from one of their defensive tackles could set off a chain reaction across the league, especially for teams like the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Chiefs, all of whom are desperately seeking reinforcement along the defensive front. Let us step back a bit and analyze the situation in Cincinnati first. McKinley Jackson, a player many of us might not have paid close attention to last year, is now at the center of trade rumors that could reshape a lot of team strategies before the November 4th deadline. Jackson, a former third-round pick, was part of Cincinnati's plans last season, where he appeared in 13 games. Of course, his playing time wasn't exactly overwhelming, just about 28. 2 of the snaps, and he finished the season with a single sack, 7 pressures, and grades that hovered around the mid-50s, according to Pro Football Focus. These numbers might not jump off the page, but what's intriguing is his potential. You see, Jackson is a player with power, knee bend, and strength traits that, if properly developed, could make him a dominant interior presence. And that's exactly what teams like Dallas, San Francisco, and Kansas City are hunting for: a versatile, young player with high upside who can contribute immediately and develop into a cornerstone piece in their defensive line. Now, it's important to mention that Jackson's 2025 season has been quite different from his rookie year. He has been a healthy scratch in 6 of 8 games, and he has only seen 6 snaps on defense so far. That's a clear sign that Cincinnati's coaching staff isn't exactly sold on his current role, or perhaps they were simply trying to evaluate other options on their roster. Defensive coordinator Al Golden recently mentioned that Jackson has all the physical tools: power, knee bend, strength, and that he is on a journey to translate that talent into consistent production. That's a key point, because it means Jackson isn't a player who has been written off completely. Instead, he is a project, an investment, a player whose potential might finally be unlocked somewhere else. And here's where the Cowboys, 49ers, and Chiefs come into play. All 3 teams are actively looking to bolster their defensive lines, especially along the interior, where depth and talent are crucial, particularly when injuries or fatigue start to set in late in the season. The fact that Jackson is under contract through 2027 makes him an appealing target, not just as a short-term fix, but as a potential long-term solution. Teams are always on the lookout for players who can develop over multiple seasons, and Jackson, with the right coaching and environment, could be that player. The cost? Well, considering he has fallen out of favor this year and his limited snaps, he is likely to come at a very reasonable price, which makes him an attractive gamble for contenders looking to make a splash before the deadline. Now, imagine the impact if Jackson lands in Dallas. The Cowboys have been solid this season, but as we all know, injuries and fatigue along the defensive line can derail even the best plans. Adding a player like Jackson, with his raw power and potential, could provide that much-needed push in the trenches. It could also free up other players to be more effective, create more pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and strengthen that run defense that has been a bit inconsistent at times. Plus, with Jackson under contract for the next couple of seasons, Dallas wouldn't just be acquiring a rotational piece, they'd be investing in a player who could grow into a key starter in the future. But it's not just the Cowboys who are eyeing this situation. The San Francisco 49ers, who always prioritize interior defensive line talent, are known for their ability to develop players and get the most out of their roster. A young, talented player like Jackson could fit right into their scheme, providing depth and creating competition along that defensive front. Similarly, the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been exploring ways to bolster their defense to complement their high-powered offense, could see Jackson as a cost-effective addition that adds depth and versatility. All 3 teams are in that window of aggressive contention, and the trade deadline is their chance to make that final move. Now, let us pause here for a second. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. I know it's exciting to think about the possibilities. The NFL trade deadline is always unpredictable, filled with surprises and last-minute negotiations. But what makes this potential deal even more compelling is the fact that the Bengals are clearly open to moving Jackson. His trade request signals that Cincinnati might be looking to clear salary cap space, rebuild their roster, or simply make a strategic move to shake things up. For teams like Dallas, San Francisco, and Kansas City, this is an opportunity one that could be seized quickly if the price is right. One interesting aspect to consider is Jackson's contract situation. With him under contract through 2027, he is not a short-term rental. He is a player with room to grow, and if developed properly, he could be a multi-year asset that pays dividends in the upcoming seasons. For the Cowboys, who've been building a strong defense under their current scheme, Jackson could be a piece that fits seamlessly into their rotation, providing both immediate help and future development. For the 49ers and Chiefs, the same logic applies. They're always looking for that next diamond in the rough, that young player who can be molded into a star. Of course, some fans might be wondering about the risk involved. It is true. Jackson has been a bit of an enigma this season. He has fallen out of favor, and his limited snaps suggest he has not yet proven he can be a consistent contributor at the NFL level. But isn't that the beauty of smart trades? Bettors are betting on potential, on the upside that a change of scenery might unlock. Plus, the price for Jackson would likely be a mid-round pick or a late-round selection, which makes him a low-risk, high-reward type of acquisition. And in the NFL, those are the kinds of moves that can swing the balance of power. Now, looking beyond just the trade itself, this situation brings up some broader questions about the current state of NFL defenses. We've seen a league increasingly focused on pass-happy offenses, which puts a premium on interior pressure. The teams vying for a championship know that disrupting the quarterback from the inside can be the difference between a win and a loss. The Cowboys, in particular, have been solid at the linebacker and edge rush positions, but interior pressure has sometimes been inconsistent. Adding a player like Jackson could be that missing piece, a young, raw talent with the potential to develop into a dominant force. And let us not forget the context of the season. The NFC East, historically one of the toughest divisions, is fiercely competitive this year. The Eagles, Giants, and Commanders are all fighting hard, and the Cowboys need every edge they can get to maintain their lead and make a deep playoff run. Securing a player like Jackson could be that strategic move that pushes them over the top, especially when considering how injuries and midseason slumps can impact a team's chances. Now, I know some of you might be asking, but what about other trade scenarios? Are there other players or positions we should be watching? Absolutely. The NFL trade deadline is always full of surprises. Rumors of offensive stars being moved, teams trying to offload expensive contracts, and sneaky trades involving lesser-known players are all part of the drama. But this situation with McKinley Jackson stands out because of its potential impact on the NFC playoff picture and the immediate need for defensive depth among the top contenders. And before I wrap up, I want to remind you that this isn't just speculation, it is a real possibility. The Bengals are listening, and teams like Dallas, San Francisco, and Kansas City are ready to pounce if the price is right. The window for a deal is narrowing, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Imagine the Cowboys adding Jackson, integrating him into their rotation, and watching him grow into that disruptive interior presence that can make a real difference in crunch time. It has a compelling storyline, one that could define the outcome of this season's playoff race. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this potential trade? Do you believe Jackson has the upside to become a key piece in Dallas's championship puzzle? Or do you think Cincinnati might hold on to him and see how he develops? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Cowboys. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more trade rumors, and all the latest news from around the league. Stay tuned and keep that Cowboys spirit alive, because this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys.